Yo, it's the MOPOWERZ, and we are back again, this time on a Super Sunday. That's right, with some exciting news, which is historical, sad, and terrifying. At one point along my travels, I had ended up at the Georgia Guidestones before they were destroyed about a year and a half ago. But needless to say, I ran into a young man. He was younger than I was, and he had asked me did I know about this place called Lake Lanier. And I said no. He said, well, you should check it out historically. He said the original name of the town is Oscarville, which is a lake now. He said you should do some historical reading on that, seeing that you are a historical person. So I got to do some digging. Oscarville. This town was formed in the 1800s during the Reconstruction era. Georgia history teacher Lisa Crosby said that Oscarville was a thriving black community full of carpenters, blacksmiths, bricklayers, with farming as the top grade. They made a miraculous farming growth here while the rest of the state was really struggling, she said. That was the case until 1912 when May Crow, a 19-year-old white woman, was found dead in the woods near Oscarville, presumably after being raped. Presumably. Typically, the answer to white girls being raped was to go to the black communities and start blaming people, Crosby said. When nightfall came, terror began to reign over Oscarville. Crosby said mobs came together called night riders, and they drove the black community out. The night turned deadly. They were wakened up by fires outside, fire bombs thrown in the church. The church was the centerfold of the community. So anytime something happened, guess where everyone would go? Well, they attacked the church where everyone was resting for a sense of protection. After the destruction in the late 1950s, the Buford Dam was built and Lake Lanier was formed, covering up Oscarville and swallowing most of its history. Many people died during the attack trying to get to Gainesville. George Rucker, a direct descendant who has traced his lineage for generations back to Oscarville, told the story of his great-grandfather, Bert Oliver, and how the entire family was forced off their land. When the night riders came through, they had to leave everything. The main thing they left was property, and my grandfather had 100 acres. Rucker said his family headed to the Chattanooga River with an angry mob behind them. He said when the mob got to the bridge where they were, they had two options. They either had to swim or drown. Most of them didn't make it, he said. My grandfather is one of them that did make it. He lost some brothers and sisters. He said his mother would tell him whenever Oliver recalled the nights, he just sat and cried. His relatives who survived settled in Gainesville. Rucker said that his great-grandfather married his second wife, Beulah, and they built Beulah-Rucker House School, which still stands in Gainesville. Crosby said whites in the area took over the remaining properties. Oscarville farmers were specifically skilled in raising poultry, Crosby said, which set the pace for Gainesville eventually becoming the poultry capital of the world. As for Lake Lanier now, many people believe it's haunted because of the high number of drownings that occur there. Officials said that there is an entire town that includes structures and even forest areas with trees that are 60 feet tall. It makes it more challenging to navigate through the lake. They said someone can quickly become trapped in the debris, causing them to drown. So this town, Lake Lanier, reminds me of what took place in Black Wall Street. And this is where Tulsa, Oklahoma City University is at. It's placed on that land where all of those black people had established businesses, homes, and land and banks. That was theirs. They didn't have to go out and integrate because they was already segregated. Every time you had a black thriving community, you had a white girl who ended up saying that she was raped or was found raped or was found dead, which caused or which gave white men an excuse to kick you off your land, chase you from your home, and then drown your town out with a dam so that you would never return. So, historically, it's safe to say that every town that black people have had and have flourished in, members, night riders, Ku Klux Klan, even the government, as in Tulsa, helped bomb the place. And I say government because it was city government that helped destroy Oscarville over May Crow, whom they say, or what was the word I used? Presumed that was raped. Presumably. Not that she was, but that she was found in a black town dead.
Will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.